everyone, happy Monday. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. We're going to be starting our daily article this week with an article about flamingos. Last week we learned about the aardvark, the armadillo, and what was the other one? Oh, and then we also learned about nighttime animals, nocturnal animals like bats, owls, some cats. So today we're going to be reading about flamingos. I'm going to read the article out loud to you guys, then we'll go over the main points and you'll answer the questions on your own after you reread the article. All right, fancy feathered flamingos. Perhaps you've seen someone place a bright pink plastic flamingo on their front lawn as a decoration. People in the suburbs around where I live, they do that sometimes. They put a plastic flamingo outside of their house. Maybe you've seen a flock of bright pink flamingos at a zoo. Because of its bright feathers and unusual body shape, the flamingo is one of the most recognizable birds in the world. That means that most people know a flamingo, and if they see one, they know that's what it is, a flamingo. I'm sure most of you guys knew what a flamingo was already, right? Where do flamingos live? Flamingos can be found mostly in South America and Africa. So most flamingos live in South America and Africa, but a few even live in parts of Asia, North America, and Europe too. So there are a few that can be found in other areas. They live in shallow lakes and lagoons in tropical and subtropical parts of the world. However, a few types of flamingos also nest at higher elevations where the winters are cold. To survive, these flamingos must migrate to warmer areas during the colder months. You guys have read an article about migration a long time ago. It's just when animals, like birds, they fly south in the winter to go to a place that's warmer. That's called migration. Why are flamingos pink? A young flamingo is usually grayish in color. So when they're born, they're like a gray color. However, as it grows, it eats lots of small shrimp and other crustaceans, as well as lots of algae. So it eats a lot of shrimp and some other kinds of shellfish and algae, a plant that's in the water. These food items contain pigments called carotenoids. Can you guys say carotenoids? Like carrot and then anoids, carotenoids. So these food items contain pigments called carotenoids that give the birds its color. So the carotenoids in the shrimp, it's a pigment, a color that's in the shrimp. That's what makes the flamingo pink. It eats so much shrimp, it turns pink. Carotenoids are also in some foods that we eat. Foods like carrots, watermelon, and shrimp. But we don't eat enough carrots, watermelon, or enough shrimp to turn us pink or orange. Good thing, right? So the flamingo eats so much that it turns pink. But it makes it pretty. It's better than being gray, I think. Can they fly? Yes. First, they get a running start to pick up speed for takeoff. Oh, so like an airplane. They get a running start. As they lift into the air, they flap their wings rapidly. They continue to flap their wings while stretching their long necks forward. At the same time, they stretch their long legs behind themselves. Seeing a flock of these brightly colored birds soaring through the sky is a marvelous sight to behold. So even though they're big and they have very long necks, they can fly. Why do flamingos have such long legs and necks? A flamingo's long legs and neck helps it find food in different depths of water. So sometimes it'll be in deep water, sometimes it'll be in shallow water. It needs its long neck and long legs to go into different types of water. By stomping its webbed feet, the flamingo can stir up all sorts of food from the lake's muddy bottom. Then the bird sweeps its bill upside down through the water, filtering out food with its bristly tongue and special hair-like structures called lamellae. So it uses its neck to dig in the water and its feet to help it go through different depths of water. Do flamingos prefer living in small groups or in large groups? Flamingos are very social birds. They often gather in large colonies with hundreds to even thousands of other flamingos. So they definitely like to be around each other. They like to have lots of friends. The larger the colony, the better they breed. So the more flamingos that are around, the more that will have babies. In fact, some zoos put up mirrors to trick their flamingos into thinking they're living in larger colonies than they actually are. So some zoos, because they know that flamingos are social and they like to live in large groups, they'll put up mirrors in the back of the cage. So to the flamingos, they see themselves, but they don't know it's them. So they think there's a lot more of them from seeing the reflections. All right, so now let's go over the main points. All right, so for flamingos, most of them live in South America and Africa in shallow lakes and lagoons. We know that they're pink in color because they eat a lot of shrimp, which has carotenoids in it. They fly. They use their neck and their long legs for finding food in different depths of water. And we also learned that they're social birds, which means they like to live in large groups, which are called colonies. And we learned about how the zoo will sometimes trick the flamingos by putting mirrors in there so that it keeps the flamingos happy and having babies. All right, so now you guys are going to reread the article on your own and you'll go answer the questions. All right, good job.